What's up, Yarny Box Crocheters? Today we're making Piper the Penguin. Don't forget to head to yarnybox.com to sign up for free with your email and you'll get a free pattern sent to your inbox every single week. In your Yarny Box kit, you'll find that the first round is already done for you. This is so that you can start off nice and easy and don't have to worry about a complicated beginning. So this first round is actually called a magic ring, and you'll find 6 stitches inside this ring. I'm going to point them out with my hook here. They look like horizontal V's. So you should be able to go around the circle and count 6 little V's or 6 stitches. You can also feel them like that. So this here is called the tail, and we are not going to worry about that right now. We can just put it aside for now. The other piece of yarn that you see that is connected to the ball, that's called the working piece of yarn. That's the yarn that we're going to be working with throughout the project. As you can see, you can pull on the loop that has the green stitch marker and it's going to tighten and loosen that loop. That's where you're going to be inserting your hook for the first time. And this blue stitch marker is where we're going to be popping in our first stitch of the round. So if you pull on it a bit, you'll see a little hole. That's exactly where the first stitch is going to go. And to hold your crochet hook, there's no proper way. You can either hold it like this, which is like a knife, or you can hold it like this, which is like a pencil. I personally find a pencil hold a little bit more comfortable, but you can hold it however you'd like. So now we can take out our green stitch marker, and we're going to pop our crochet hook into this loop. And like I said before, you can tighten this loop down. Don't make it so tight that you can't move your crochet hook, but you definitely don't want a huge gap with the yarn here. And then you can wrap the working yarn around your finger a couple times to control the tension, and you can pinch the magic ring with your middle finger and your thumb. I find this the best way to hold everything, but again, experiment for yourself and see what you like best. And now we can take out the blue stitch marker as well. And you can see this is the first stitch or the first little V. Go ahead and pop your hook right in there. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. Now we're going to yarn over, but before you do that, make sure you're holding your hook parallel to your body and make sure your hook is pointing downwards. This is super important, or else it's going to be really hard to pull that yarn through the stitch. And then you can go ahead and pull the yarn through the first 2 loops on your hook, grab the yarn again, and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. And that, folks, is a single crochet. So congrats, we just made our very first stitch of the round. And now we're going to do the exact same thing in the exact same hole, and that's going to give us 2 stitches in this first stitch. So do the exact same thing again, pop your hook in the exact same hole that we were just in, yarn over, pull the yarn through 2 loops, yarn over again, and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. That's called an increase, and what we just did was we placed 2 stitches into 1 stitch. And now you can see we are going to count back 2 stitches, so that's 1 and 2. We're going to pop our stitch marker in the second stitch away from the loop. So right in there. So now we have 2 new stitches. And we are going to continue this all the way around the circle. So again, we're going into the next stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over again, and pull through 2 loops. So again, that is 1 single crochet. We're doing the same thing again. So in the exact same hole, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over again, pull through 2 loops. And again, this is called an increase, or 2 stitches in every single stitch around. So again, in the next stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over again, and pull through 2 loops. And again, insert your hook in the same stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. And now in the next stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That is 1 single crochet. And for the second single crochet, we're going in the exact same hole and performing the second single crochet. And keep doing this all the way around. So that's one single crochet and going in for the second one. And then in the next stitch, which is the last stitch of the round, we are going to make our single crochet and then make the second single crochet. So what we just did was we went from 6 stitches to now 12, which means we put 2 single crochets in each of those first initial 6 crochets. And again, that is called increasing. So you should be able to go around the circle and count 12 little stitches or 12 little V's. And now we can move on to round 2. So we're going to pop our crochet hook into the next available stitch. This is the first stitch of the next round, so make a single crochet. And then pause, and we are going to mark this stitch here. So just pop in your stitch marker, it works like a safety pin. And now we can carry on. We are not increasing in this stitch, we're going to increase in the next stitch. So go into the next available stitch, not the one we were just in, but that one. And we're going to put 2 single crochets in this one. So make sure you go under both loops. This is our first single crochet, and now we're going to make a second single crochet in that exact same stitch. And now in the next stitch, we are just making 1 single crochet in this one, like so. And then we're moving on to the next stitch, and we're placing 2 single crochets in this one, or that's also known as an increase. And now the next stitch is just 1 single crochet. And then the next stitch will be an increase or 2 single crochets. And then single crochet, just 1. And an increase, so 2 single crochets. And then 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and then single crochet, and then place 2 single crochets in the last stitch. So that took us from 12 stitches up to 18 stitches, meaning we increased in every other stitch. If you didn't end your round on an increase, you might have done something wrong in the previous round, so you might want to undo it and start again. So go ahead and take out your stitch marker. And we're moving on to round 3. Place your first single crochet in the next available stitch, and then pause and mark this stitch. We're going to mark the first stitch of every single round, by the way. And now in the next available stitch, we are also just doing 1 single crochet. So no increases yet. And then in the next stitch, we are doing an increase. So that's 1 single crochet and going in for the second single crochet in the same stitch. And then single crochet in the next 2 stitches and increase in the third stitch. So single crochet, and increase. So it's 1 single crochet and 2 single crochet. And carry on with this pattern throughout the round. So we're doing a single crochet, increase. So that's 1 and 2, single crochet, and increase. And keep repeating that until you get back to the stitch marker. Again, you should be ending your round on an increase. And this is going to take us from 18 stitches up to 24 stitches. So coming up on the last increase here, we are all done that round. So now you should be able to go around and count 24 little stitches in your magic ring. So take out your stitch marker, pop in your first single crochet of the next round, and as always, mark this stitch. And this round we are doing 3 single crochet increase. So single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, and then do an increase. So again, we're doing single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, increase. So single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, increase. So keep this pattern up for the rest of the round, and this is our last round of increasing, so I will meet you back at the stitch marker. So ending on an increase here. This is our last round of increasing, so go ahead and pull on that tail super tight, and then we can remove our stitch marker for now. The tail is actually what keeps the magic ring closed, so pull on it super tight, and now we're going to do something called weaving in the tail. So grab your yarn needle that comes in your Yarny Box kit, and then thread the tail onto the needle. I find it easiest if you fold the yarn in half and kind of squish it on the needle like that. And now all we're going to be doing is popping in our needle in and out of random stitches on the bottom just to make sure that tail is super secure and it's not going to come undone. So just keep going back and forth. It doesn't matter what holes that you pick. I like to do this about 6 or 7 times just to make sure things are super secure. Now for the next round, we are just putting 1 single crochet in every single stitch around. Don't have to worry about any patterns. All we're doing is a single stitch in every single one of these stitches. So make your first one and then mark that stitch. And we're just going to carry on the rest of the round like that. So next stitch, single crochet. Next one, single crochet. Next one, single crochet, and so on. So I will meet you back at the stitch marker once you are completed this round. So we're just coming up on the last few single crochets of this round. And for the next 7 rounds, so rounds 7 to 13, we are going to be doing exactly what we just did. So a single crochet in every stitch around, no increasing, nothing. You should have 30 stitches after each one of these. If you lose count, I'll show you how to count your rows. So this is round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 there. You can see they look like little lines and they're all separated by tiny little holes. So that's how you can count your rounds if you lose track. I'm going to do the next 7 rounds off camera and I will meet you back once you've gotten to round 13 of the project. So now that you have round 13 done, it looks a little bit more like a body. And now we can start on round 14, so place your first single crochet of this round and mark this stitch. We're going to start decreasing in this round, so we're going to be taking away stitches each round. So once you have your stitch marked, make another single crochet in the next stitch, and make another single crochet in the next stitch. And now we're going to decrease. So we're going to be combining 2 stitches into 1 stitch. So you can see that every stitch has 2 loops. This is the back loop and this is the front loop. To decrease, we are going into the front loop only of the next 2 stitches. So you can see here there's still a back loop, so we're only in the front loop. And then immediately go into the front loop of the next stitch as well. So you have 3 loops in total on your hook here. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, and then yarn over again and pull through the last remaining loops on your hook. So we just turned 2 stitches into 1 stitch here. And now place 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to do another decrease. So again, front loop only of the next stitch, front loop only of the next stitch, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, and then yarn over again and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. Single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and decrease. So front loop only of the next 2 stitches, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and decrease. So we are going to be repeating this all the way around until we get back to the stitch marker. So we're on to another decrease here. And then 3 single crochets. And the last 2 stitches are a decrease. So it's really important to be counting your stitches at the end of every round. And if you didn't end on a decrease here, that means you might have not had 30 stitches at the end of the last round, so you might have gone wrong somewhere and accidentally added or taken away 8 stitches. So before we carry on, we're gonna pop in our eyes. And in your Yarny Box kit, you'll find 2 little black eyes and 2 little backs for those eyes. This is what the backs look like, and these are the fronts. So we're gonna count down 7 rounds from the top of the body. And we're going to place the eyes in between rounds 7 and 8. And you want to make sure the stitch marker is in the middle on the back side of your project while you're putting these eyes in. And before you go ahead and pop the backs of the eyes on, you really want to make sure these eyes are exactly where you want them to be. So make sure they're centered with your stitch marker on the opposite side, and make sure the eyes aren't too far apart or too close together. I like to place my eyes about 4 visible stitches apart from each other. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, if you can see that. Just make sure the eyes are 1,000,000,000% exactly where you want them before you put the backs on. And then the backs just click on like that. And now we can carry on with the rest of the body. So you can take out your stitch marker and make your first stitch of the next round. and then mark that stitch. And then we are going to make another single crochet in the next stitch, and then we are going to decrease. So front loop only of the next 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, single crochet, decrease. Single crochet, decrease. Repeat this pattern until you get back to the stitch marker. So we're coming up on the last decrease of the round. And we just went from 24 stitches down to 18 stitches. Now's a good time to start stuffing the body, so grab your stuffing that's in your Yarny Box kit and pull it apart with your hands like this to make sure it's nice and fluffy before we stuff it in. And then just pop the stuffing in. Make sure you really shape out your body here and make sure there's lots of stuffing at the top of the head. You don't want so much stuffing in there that it shows through your stitches, but you definitely want to make sure you're making a nice round body shape with the stuffing. And don't stuff it too much or else it's going to be hard to close our project. So just put in an adequate amount of stuffing, that's about good here. And then you can take out your stitch marker and we'll move on to the next round. And then pop a single crochet in the next stitch, and as always, mark that stitch. And now we're going to be doing a decrease right away. So front loop only of the next 2 stitches, pull through 2, single crochet, decrease. Single crochet, decrease. Single crochet, decrease. Single crochet, and decrease. And last one, single crochet and decrease. And now we're going to stop at this round and we're going to pop in a bit more stuffing. And now you can really add as much stuffing as you think it is needed to shape the body out. Just make sure you're not adding so much stuffing that is poking through your holes. So your dinosaur should look something like this. Now we're on to the very last round of this body. So every single stitch here is a decrease. So right off the bat, we're gonna do a decrease. And then we're gonna mark that stitch. And then just keep decreasing all the way around the circle until you get back to the stitch marker. So this is the last decrease here, and you can go ahead and remove your stitch marker. And now we're gonna cut the yarn. We're gonna leave about 6 or 7 inches for sewing. So give yourself enough room. And then we're going to close off by making a slip stitch. So insert your hook in the next stitch, and then pull the yarn through all the loops on your hook. And that's just a neat little way of finishing off, and then you can pull the yarn all the way through. And we're gonna sew this hole shut, so grab your yarn needle and thread on that tail. And then we're going to be popping our yarn needle into the front loop only of each one of these stitches around. And that's gonna create a little drawstring effect where we can just pull the yarn and it'll close the hole. So just popping our needle in the front loops of all these stitches. And then pull it tight. And now we can weave in our end, so just pop your needle in through the bottom here and go over a few stitches a few times just to make sure that the yarn is super secure and it's not going to come undone. And once you're done that, you can trim off the end, and that completes part 1.